everyone, it's Jen Calhoun. I just wanted to make a quick video on how we're going to be making our bath bombs this week to give you an idea of what's coming and make sure that you bring anything from home that you might like to. First of all, if you have any extra stainless steel mixing bowls, that would be really helpful so we don't have to wait as long for another group to get finished. If you have any little Easter eggs, we're going to be using these as molds for the bath bombs, and you'll be taking them home in them to finish drying. So if you have any extra lying around your house, that would be really great to share. Finally, if you have essential oil at home that you really love that you would like to use for a bath bomb, feel free to bring that. But if you don't, no big deal. We'll have lavender, we'll have orange, and peppermint. So you'll see I have already added all the dry ingredients to a baggie, so you won't have to measure out any dry ingredients. We have baking soda, cornstarch, Epsom salt, and citric acid in the bags in case you're wondering. I can always share the recipe with you if you'd ever want to make some on your own. It's a little easier to kind of pre-mix them in this baggie. It'll make less of a mess before you pour them into the stainless steel mixing bowl. Now, I will have gloves as well. Sometimes it's easier to mix this with your hands than with a spoon. And you want to protect your hands. It doesn't bother my hands, but citric acid can sometimes irritate your skin a little bit when it's concentrated like this. All right, so first step is to put all the dry ingredients in, and then we're going to be gradually mixing in coconut oil and essential oils. We are going to help you measure these so that we're being really precise, especially with the essential oils. But this will just give you an idea what it's going to look like. I'm going to add my lavender as well. And when you add these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you add these, it's not going to make a big change in it yet. But when you start adding the water, then you'll see it starts to fizzle a little bit. So I've actually pre-dyed this water purple, and we'll have some options where the water is dyed. We'll have some plain water as well. If you wanted to add color to your bath bomb or not, it's not going to add a lot of color, but thought it might be a little easier than trying to add the dye separately, getting it mixed in. So it's just a very small amount, and the texture is going to be kind of like wet sand once it's all mixed together. So that's what you're aiming for. So it's starting to get hard. You can see that where you can kind of form it into a ball. Still doesn't have a lot of color in it. We might be playing around with the color as we go as well if you want it slightly darker. I don't want it to be too dark of a color so that it's staining your bathtub or anything. But you can see how it's starting to form into balls. And so once you have that all mixed together, and it smells really good already, you're going to be pushing it into the molds. So this part is maybe where it gets a little tricky, but you want to fill both sides of the mold and get them to click together. And you're basically going to be taking your eggs home like this once I get it to click. So you'll see when you're doing this, you might also find it a little challenging to get them to snap all the way shut. All right. So if you open them before they're dry, you might find that it breaks apart into two pieces. If that happens at home, it's not a big deal. They'll still work. But we're hoping to get them to be completely close together. So if it's all packed tight, you have it closed, you're going to take it home like this. And I would say you want it to dry overnight with the lid popped open. See, this broke back together. But after you let it dry, take it home and let it dry for a little bit, you're going to unpop it and then let it dry open. So I'll show you what it looks like since that's not cooperating for me. You want to let it dry in the egg like this overnight. It needs to be like 24 hours all the way dry. And then it will look like this. So I hope you have fun making your bath bombs with us this week.